And welcome to the Deuce Podcast. I'm Brad.
And I'm Jeremy.
And Jeremy, this is episode Hundo and 2.
Hundo and 2.
Hundo and 2. Or 102. And for our 102nd episode, we decided to do 102 Dalmatians. We did it, folks.
We did it. We've been planning it.
We've been planning this since day one.
Episode 1.
Since day one, we were like, on the 102nd episode, we are doing 102 Dalmatians.
Yes.
Which is good because it was actually going to be entitled 101 Dalmatians of the Return.
Yes.
But it's 102, so it works for us.
Well, we would have just reviewed it one episode earlier.
Yeah, we just would have reviewed it, but
it's hard to pass up.
It is hard to pass up with this little information about this movie. Obviously, Betsy DeVos returns from the original movie to play Cruella de Vil. Oh, did I say that? Sorry, I meant Glenn Close.
Oh, come on. Cruella de Vil at least has some redeeming qualities.
Like we said before, Glenn Close reprises her role as Cruella de Vil. And let me tell you, do you think Glenn Close got lockjaw during this movie? Because she is chewing up every scene.
Yeah, she's pretty every intense.
Scene. She is gnawing on every scene. Like, I'm just gonna she's playing a cartoon character.
Well, she figured if she wasn't gonna get an Oscar, she might as well get a Kids' Choice Award.
A Nickelodeon's kid. She wants that surfboard.
She wants to get slimed at the award show.
Do you think she got it? Nickelodeon. Now I want to know if she got one.
I don't know.
Totally want to know that. All right. A couple more information about this movie that I found out is that the film opened in the third position behind M. Night's Unbreakable and Ron Howard's How the Grinch Stole Christmas.
Ew.
I know. So those two movies. But this movie actually was a hit too as well. So it did gross $67 million in the first weekend for a total of $183.6 million.
It's interesting. You and I were talking about this. Million. You and I were talking about this a little bit about how Disney has got really into like the swing of doing like live adaptations or like live action or CGI adaptations of their other films.
For instance, Aladdin's coming out with Will Smith.
Beauty and the Beast they've done.
Beauty and the Beast. The Lion King is coming out as well.
Yeah.
And
I think that it's interesting because I never really thought about this being part of all of that. I mean, like, this was back in 96, the first one came out.
Yeah, this is 2000, so this is about 4 years,
Yeah, so the first one came out in 96, this one came out in 2000.
Right.
And so, yeah, I mean, the first one, I don't remember seeing the first one, but I've seen this one.
I've seen bits and pieces of it.
I've seen this one before.
You have?
Yeah. It was like on in the background while I was doing something else.
Okay.
Which is how this movie should typically be watched.
Technically, kind of. Also, this is kind of, for me, like an airplane movie as well. Like, you could just put it like whenever you're just doing something busy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I could see that.
Wasting time. Yeah. From the writing team that brought you How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days and Newsies comes 102 Dalmatians. And from the director who brought you Tarzan and the Goofy movie, or a Goofy movie, I'm sorry.
Yeah. If anybody is a fan of a Goofy movie, like some of the good parts about this movie, I really see. I'm like, oh, okay. Like some of the music choices and some of like the like some of the action, some of the like stuff that's going on, I can definitely see those kind of influences between those. And I know a lot of people are fans of a Goofy movie. I almost think it's got kind of a cult Disney status.
Yeah, kind of.
But yeah, I think that if you like that, you'll definitely see some things that you'll be like, oh, yeah, okay, I can see that. I can see that it's the same director. But this was his first live action foray.
Right, and that's what I mean. Like, it's hard to kind of distinguish yourself and then go from like, I'm doing cartoons and now I'm doing a live action, which is basically a live action cartoon.
Yeah.
I mean, basically it is.
Yeah, it is.
So, yeah. Do we have a plot synopsis, or should we go to say that we are no phonies?
I think we should say that we are no phonies.
And we are no phonies.
Mainly because
okay,
we're
so
not.
plot synopsis. Okay, I'm just joking.
So we just want to just call out again that we are members of the No Phony Podcast Network.
Independent awesomeness.
So if you go to nophonynetwork.com, you're going to see a lot of different shows on there, including our featured podcast, which is the Rant with Herman James and Friends.
And Friends.
Too often
like
we forget about the
like Garfield and Friends.
Yes.
Garfield and Friends.
How'd you feel about U.S. Acres?
I like it. You hate it.
U.S. Acres? I'm
like
okay
US
with
Acres.
U.S. Acres.
Sometimes I liked it better.
Yeah, sometimes there was some good
I don't
jokes.
know if I like the little egg guy that never hatched.
Sheldon.
Yes.
I think that was his name.
Yeah.
I had a friend in grade school who, because I had tons and tons of those Garfield, those like rectangular Garfield books. She had the U.S. Acres books, and I wanted those so bad because I'm like, no, that it kind of needs to be with my collection.
Right.
And I never got any of them.
Okay.
I don't even know where the hell she found the U.S. Acres comic book, but
It's Heathcliff that you don't like.
It's Heathcliff I do not enjoy.
You don't like...
Fight me about it, people. I do not like Heathcliff.
You don't like Heathcliff, the house cat, and then you don't like Heathcliff, the junkyard cat.
Yes.
I always thought that they were both named Heathcliff, but they're not. And then you sent me straight on that.
Oh, yeah, it's a whole other...
Like, it's a whole lot.
You mean, when you say Heathcliff the junkyard cat, you mean the one with the hat?
Yeah, like, I always thought his name was Heathcliff, too. It was kind of like, I don't know why, but I always thought they were both named Heathcliff. But I think it was just junkyard cat.
It's
whatever.
Riffraff?
Riffraff.
They're part of the Cadillac Cats.
Riffraff. Can I do a segue between Riffraff? The guy that plays Cruella de Vil's butler, kind of.
Yeah.
He was in the London original version of the Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Who plays Alonzo?
Yeah,
I can see that. He looks
Frankenfurter.
like...
Yeah. So there you go. There's my connection. That's how we bring it back around.
That's how we do it here.
Yes. Thank you.
No, he looks like he... That's probably the case. Tim McInerney.
Yes.
McInerney.
Correct. And our apologies to Herman James for not talking about his podcast and talking about...
I'm sorry how that happened, but...
Yeah.
But yes, go check out Herman James and everybody else at the No Phony Podcast
You know what?
Network.
Herman would be proud of us because we just did a rant not about his but like around his podcast.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So I think he would be proud of that.
I'm sure he probably would.
I know he would. Yeah, that'd be awesome. So why don't you give us a plot synopsis, Jeremy?
So, after a spot of therapy, Cruella de Vil is released from prison, a changed woman. Devoted to dogs and good causes, she's delighted that Chloe, her parole officer, has a Dalmatian family and connects with a dog charity. But the sound of Big Ben can reverse the treatment, so it's only a matter of time before Ms. de Vil is back to her incredibly ghastly ways, using her newfound connections with Chloe and friends.
Chloe and friends.
Yeah. Like Garfield and Friends.
Garfield and Friends.
Did you ever see U.S. Acres?
Garfield and Friends.
You liked U.S. Acres, didn't you?
Yeah. Yes, I did. What was the character name with like a shell?
Sheldon?
Yeah, Sheldon. Oh, yeah, that was my favorite. Oh my god. Oh, didn't you have a friend that like had a book? That
Yes,
you were
she had a
like,
U.S. Acres book, and I had
amazing.
Garfield books.
Oh, you should have that for a part of your collection.
Oh my god, we should have that.
Oh my god, you know what that
I don't
reminds
know
me
where the
of?
hell she got it.
Heathcliff. So Heathcliff was on
Oh my god, the junkyard cats?
Heathcliff. And, what's his real name?
Riffraff.
Oh, Riffraff. That reminds me because Riffraff was the guy that played Mr. Butler was in Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Oh, Tim McInerney?
Yes, that's his name.
Okay.
All right.
So anyway, the rant with Herman James and friends.
All right. Now, that'll make him switch to season 3 of Serial. All right. Okay. So we are...
Like the food cereal?
Yeah, the food cereal. Okay. So it's about 3 years later after the first movie.
Yep.
Right? She's been in jail for 3 years?
Yes.
Yes.
And she like for I think it's some sort of like prison for the criminally insane and animals.
And animals, because basically she's the only human in this jail besides the people that work there.
That we know of,
We know of. So, so there's like a bunch of animals that are getting rehabilitated, and she is as well.
Yeah.
Right? There's like a rabbit.
Well, it's Dr. Pavlov. Wah, wah.
Wah, wah.
He is
Ring
running
that
some
bell, Pavlov.
Huh?
Ring that bell. All right.
He is, like you see, he's trying to he brings in Mr. Tort, who is the lawyer
Wah, wah.
for
Oh,
again.
well,
A tort is like a legal term.
yeah, no.
So
Wah, wah.
they bring in Mr. Tort to come see this rehabilitation process, and it's they got a cat to sit with a bird. They have a
rabbit.
Well, they start having really weird things. So there's a cat and a bird. There's a fox and a goose.
Yes.
Which okay.
Yeah. And what does the fox say?
Ning, 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 ning. And there's a rabbit and like a pit bull or some sort of terrier thing. I didn't know the rabbit and the dog was a thing.
It was Shakira and Pitbull, and they were like in a cage together, trying to get along.
Okay, right? That's what it was.
Mm-hmm. Makes
it was
sense.
Kesha and Pitbull.
It was Kesha and Pitbull.
Start singing duos.
And then we have a room with her and with a bunch of Dalmatians.
Yes.
So she's been rehabilitated.
Yes, she has.
We can release her on parole, and so she goes to the parole board, I guess.
Yeah.
Of England.
Well, okay, so she has like a parole officer who's supposed to be managing all of this and laying down the rules. Basically, she can't go anywhere near fur or any kind of whatever again. So they basically say if they even get a whiff of her doing something illegal with that they're going to throw her back in jail, and the fine will be basically her fortune. Which is £8 million.
Yes. Which I think in American it's $100, correct?
Oh no, it's the other way around. I think it's
joking.
pretty much the other way. I think it's the other way.
It's probably the other way around. I'm thinking Canada.
Oh yeah, there you go. So they find her 16 million loonies.
And tooties.
So they say if she falls off the wagon that she's going to go back to they're going to take her money and they're going to donate it to a West End shelter.
Right. And she's going to go back to Sunnydale, whatever, treatment center, whatever the fuck this place is.
Yes.
It's the weirdest place. They're don't put her in regular jail.
No, just
put her in animal jail.
Animal jail.
She belongs there. With the rest of the animals.
That cat, that pitbull, and that fox are just...
Yes.
They've done some bad things.
They have done terrible things. So they decided... So like you were saying, they, put her on parole, and it just happens to be the parole officer her parole officer is the owner of Dipstick, right?
Yes, Dipstick from the first
movie.
Yes.
Probably not the same dog.
Oh no, I'm doubting it is.
I'm doubting it is too.
Yeah.
In fact, from what I read, that Dalmatians grow so fast that they had to have different Dalmatians every 2 weeks.
2 weeks. Yeah. Dalmatians grow up pretty quick.
Right, and this movie was shot over 7 years. Oh no, that's just how long it felt when I watched it.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
And all the extra Dalmatians they used in the filming were in fact made into coats just in case.
Yes.
Just in
They're
case.
character actors. They're character dog actors. Also, some of the spots on the Dalmatians, they put hidden Mickeys.
Yeah.
Or they slipped in Mickeys. I can't remember which one I read.
Or midden hickeys.
Or gave them Mickeys. Or gave them, pretty much. Or a bat gave them Hickeys.
Yes.
That's how Dalmatians get their spots.
That's how that happens. They immediately...
You should know this stuff, people. You should know this stuff.
But you can tell... Okay, so they're... before we get too far. So there's... The parole officer is meeting with another guy.
Right.
Who he... they don't say, I guess, why he's done necessarily. But he is... he works at a dog shelter where he's doing a lot.
Second chance.
Yeah, the second tech.
Wah, wah.
Yeah. by the way, the same guy who plays Edison Tollett on I think that's what it was on Game of Thrones.
Played.
Yes.
Spoilers. I don't know. Did he die? I don't know.
I don't know.
Is Azraella still alive on that show? I just made that character up.
Azrael Abyss. Ooh, the Dark Lord of the Cinnabon. So he leaves a picture out to basically show like, hey, look, no, here's me working with these dogs.
Yeah,
We're
this is
doing
what
a
I'm
good
doing
thing.
now. This is my probation.
Yeah, and he works there with Ian Griffin, who's a Deuce alum.
Oh yeah,
who was Mr. Fantastic in Fantastic Four: Rise of the Silver Rise of the Silver Snurfer.
Snurfer.
The Silver Snurfer.
Snurfer. So he was also in the TV show Forever, which did not last forever.
Which explains a lot because this movie felt like it went on forever.
The show only lasted a season, but Judd Hirsch was in that, and he was amazing.
Sure,
I like when Judd Hirsch shows up on a TV show.
Yeah,
his best part of Numbers.
That's true.
Well, yeah, there you go. Yes. So Cruella.
Yeah.
Sorry, I cannot pronounce her name. So we'll call her Betsy DeVos.
Yeah.
And I've always been a fan of the aesthetic looking villainous of Cruella de Vil because it always looks menacing enough.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So and this movie was nominated for costume design, which rightfully so. It's kind of has nice costume design.
Yeah, it does.
With the furs and everything. And
yes.
And even the weird stuff that, with what's his bucket?
Gerard Depardieu.
Yeah. Yes.
More like Gerard Depardieu, am I right?
So, which is actually, I just quoted all those lines in the movie right there.
Boopies.
Okay.
Boopies.
Vaguely against French people right now, but, whatever.
What?
You are, because you're just making fun of French people. I'm not making fun of French people.
Making fun of Gerard Depardieu.
Oh, okay, that's what it is. So where are we at in this movie?
I don't know. Gerard Depardieu?
No. Oh, what I was just saying is I like the aesthetic lookingness of the villain, and they do bring that into, the Glenn Close's costume and stuff like that, including her hair. It always reminds me of that cookie that you get, the black and white cookie that you get.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That Seinfeld tries to eat during that one episode and he gets sick. Okay.
I don't know. I don't know what you're talking
People
about.
will know what I'm talking about.
I hope they do.
Seinfeldians will know what I'm talking about.
No, but there's a very Cruella is very polished and
right,
dainty looking when she's rehabilitated. And it is I'm just oh, okay. She seems. Glenn Close does a good job, I think, of flipping the switch.
Yeah,
from
which
being
she does in this movie.
Yeah,
I mean she has to.
From being the sweet character to Cruella.
Yeah. So we're going to talk about the second chance, the dog place or whatever.
Yes,
which has a parrot.
Well, they have So there are characters in the shelter already. So there is Chomper, who is a dog who used to bite all the time.
Oh, that's why it's Chomper.
Yeah, and then there's Digger, which is a dog who always digs. And
this is the same people that wrote Newsies, by the way. When they were the eye patch guy, we'll call him Patchy.
Yeah. What about the kid with the crutch?
Crutchy.
Crutchy?
Perfect.
Let's do it.
What should we call Kristen Bell's character? Assholey. All right, that's great.
Kristen Bell. The
Christian
Bale.
Christian Bale.
I thought you said Kristen Bell.
I never
noticed how close their names were before now.
No, either. Veronica Mars starring Kristen Bale.
I'm
Batman.
And
I solve crimes.
Digger. They have is it Drooler, who is a dog who just drools constantly. Yeah. And then there is Waddlesworth, which is a talking parrot, voiced by Eric Idle.
Which is kind of funny, tongue in cheek, because of the parrot sketch that you get from. He wasn't in that,
right?
But obviously, Monty Python has a famous parrot sketch.
Yes.
You know, the dead parrot.
Yes.
Ex-parrot.
Yeah.
So
he's singing with the bleeding choir invisible. No, but he's doing the parrot voice, which, and I'm not sure if they know that parrots don't actually just like talk, like they mimic sounds, and so like this bird has like full on human conversations.
But okay, for the purpose of this movie, it actually helps through scenes where we just have dogs.
Yes,
because then you have like a human that's, you know, helping kind of the plot move along.
Yes.
So that kind of actually worked in a way.
Yeah.
Having said that I didn't really prefer the performance.
Yeah, the thing that doesn't work for me with it is where he like translates what dogs are saying. Because seriously, this seems like a gateway to those stupid buddy movies.
Air Bud?
Like the buddies, where it's like after the Air Bud, they had like Air Buddies, where it's all the little ones. And then it's like Space Buddies and, you know, Court Buddies and...
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not going to tell that joke. But anyway, okay, so we're going to continue about our poopies.
The poopies.
So, Cruella wants to, she goes to the probation office and she's like, you know, what should I do for my probation? And she's like, you have puppies? Poopies?
And of course,
the second chance place is getting evicted. They're getting evicted from their place.
Yes. Chloe is like, no. Like, she doesn't want Cruella anywhere near her dogs because she doesn't have the street dogs. She
knows the history.
She has Dipstick and Dottie.
Yeah.
And then part of the way through, like shortly before she meets Cruella, her Dottie has 3 puppies.
Right. Domino.
Yeah.
Little Dipper.
Yeah.
Who
has a dipstick tail like Dipstick.
Right. And then Oddball.
Yeah, who is just a white dog.
Right.
Who, coincidentally enough, they tried painting the spots off the dog. They tried covering them up with like white powder.
Like PETA would be all over that, or someone.
What, painting it all?
Yeah. I don't know. Really?
No, they do that all the time with stuff.
Really?
Yeah. God, I'm trying to remember. There was a movie that we've reviewed here before where they had to paint color onto the animal, but it washes out. Like, it's not permanent.
That was Mission Impossible too.
No, you're talking about
they had to wash out that
Tom Cruise is Just for Men. No, so
that animal.
So they tried doing all these things with Oddball, and it works better the other way, like darker paints on lighter animals, but they couldn't cover up the spots like they should. So they were like, well, what the hell do we do? So they had a team of like 55 people who did digital cover up on Oddball to make it all white. And it shows.
Yeah.
It looks really freaking weird.
Yeah.
It looks like the dog is constantly like green screened in.
Yeah.
Even to the point where like sometimes when the dog is moving around.
He's just moving his head.
Yeah.
It looks weird.
The lips look like they're drawn on in paint. Like it's so goofy looking.
So Cruella, she decides to take a residence up at the Second Chance.
Yes.
Facility. And so she basically, because she has money, she can throw money at them and say, "Oh, here's a dog parlor that we can make their hair all nice."
And she really is trying to do good.
She's trying to do good.
Like, yeah, and
this isn't the Cruella de Vil that we all know. This is the rehabilitated one from the animal hospital.
This isn't
from
the
animal hospital.
Cruella de Vil with 8 yachts and a brother who works in like military contracts. Not the one that we're used to.
Yes.
No, she's taken all of her furs and put them in the ancient cavern behind the secret door that's in her house.
Yes. I think it's the same castle from Raiders of the Lost Ark. I'm not for sure.
It might be the one from Shenovia.
I don't know.
Like she opens another little door and she can listen to Parliament.
And when you mean listen to Parliament, you mean Funkadelic.
Yes, that is exactly.
That's the only.
Please let us out, Miss DeVille. Not today, George Clinton.
Let us out. I need to film PCU. Not today, George Clinton.
But
I got a contract.
Jeremy Piven gets real mad when he has to wait.
Bootsy Collins is like, please let me out.
So they threw all of the fur coats in this room that has giant torches, including they also put in the Dalmatian puppy sketch, or the Dalmatian coat sketch that she wanted for her.
Oh, yeah.
Dalmatian.
I thought you meant like a comedy sketch.
Yep, that's the one.
They put that one in.
Yep.
French and Saunders had that classic Dalmatian comedy sketch.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Yeah. No, they didn't. Anyway.
A bit of Fry and Laurie did.
That was a bit of Fry and Laurie. That was from the first movie.
Yeah, that was just Hugh Laurie from the first movie.
I didn't Hugh Laurie want to come back for the second movie.
He was too busy doing Stuart Little too.
Was he? Is he Stuart Little?
He's in Stuart Little movies. He's a dad in Stuart Little, I think.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, he's in the house. Right.
So she's like, nope, not going to do it. And in fact, at one point, she goes back to Chloe, who she's basically telling her like she got in trouble because she was going to go to like a fur fashion show and protest it because she's so against fur.
You can't go there. Yeah.
And shortly before this, I guess, or right around here, the guy at the Institute for the Criminally Insane, which now is just nothing but animals, apparently.
Yes. Now it's just animals.
Yeah. He's little guy is watching something with Big Ben on the TV.
It's like a BBC Two show, and it's about Big Ben.
Yes. Yeah. And it starts
I met a Big Ben once. Anyway, go ahead.
Hello. It starts going off. Big Ben starts chiming, and all the animals start freaking out because the rehabilitation can get interrupted by a bell.
Yes, the chime.
Pavlov. So it gets undone, and so he's like, don't tell anybody. Well, we established earlier that Chloe's office is like within earshot of Big Ben.
Right.
Like where it's really loud. And so there's some stupid crap going on with like Oddball is rolling on a piece of printer paper to try to get spots.
There's, for some reason, their copy machine is down, so he's like trying to roll and copy ink.
Yeah,
that's not how that works.
I know.
To get the ink on him because he wants to be a regular Dalmatian.
Yeah,
wants to be like everyone else, but you're not.
You're not.
You're an oddball.
You're an oddball. So, like, Oddball ends up getting the guy lifts the lid. He's changing the ink, but feels the need to like lift the top part of the copy thing.
That's what I do.
Yeah. Somewhere, and so he lifts it. Oddball rolls out and is basically hanging on a gutter that's just kind of swinging. The other puppies run outside. Yeah. And Big Ben chimes. Chloe turns her back to Cruella and is trying to get the puppy in.
Right. Meanwhile, like Cruella's like, "Oh, Big Ben, I'm out of my trance."
Her face, she looks like she's freaking out.
Right.
And like pieces of her hair start, because it's been all like very polished and rounded. All of a sudden, pieces of it start poking up and looking very jagged.
Yeah.
And
much like the plot or the script is very jagged.
There you go.
Yeah.
She ends up getting like they pull in the puppies. Oddball falls on her and she like on Cruella and she falls to the ground. And Dipstick comes in and starts barking at her. And that's when she goes, I know you. When you were a puppy. Because she remembers him. And so she's like, I have to go. And she leaves.
Yes.
And when she gets outside.
Yes. And when she gets outside, it's the most glorious scene in any movie, you would say.
This is one of those where I'm like, we could have done without this.
We could have way done without this.
Yeah. She goes outside.
If not,
and,
it could have gotten a lot less. Like, you know.
well, also, like, so when she's changing back, then her shoulder pads
Her
get
shoulder
pointier.
pads?
They pop out, and then her, like
Big Ben, all of a sudden she becomes Joan Crawford, like, up, and like these shoulder pads pop up.
It's true. And then, like, her nails, it's just like her nails grow out of the end of her gloves.
I don't understand that. Like,
Yeah.
she just, like, that all collapsed when she got rebuilt. I don't understand that.
Yeah.
So now all of a sudden, everything around her starts turning into a Dalmatian.
People are wearing Dalmatian stuff and have Dalmatian, like, makeup on.
The streets, the buses, they're all Dalmatian. The buildings are all Dalmatian.
This part to me was super stupid.
Oh, yes.
I think you could have identified that she was.
I think you already did. You already identified that by saying that you get unrehabilitated once Big Ben chimes. Done. We don't need to be all like, she's craving killing a bunch of. We know that.
Well,
you know what I mean? We know the
it,
genesis of Cruella de Vil.
Why would it be just Dalmatians? Like, she... I guess I don't understand. Like, she didn't see things all in Dalmatian before.
Right, that's what I mean.
So I don't think it's just a dumb scene.
And is it just Cruella de Vil vision? Do you know what I mean? Like, should, through her eyes, like the rest of the movie, she's just seeing everything in Dalmatian? Like, I don't understand. But anyway,
apparently not.
No, evidently not. So she's like, we must build up. Then she goes back and she grabs all her furs. Oh, I've missed you, pretties.
Yeah, but she keeps them hidden because she's got to keep up the guise of.
Yeah, but like she goes back in there.
Yeah.
Yes, she does. But she rolls around in them.
Yeah.
And then she sees the sketch from the Dalmatian coat.
Yes.
Like, I'm just get amazed. Like, that's the fact that like Disney was all like, we are gonna make like a villain that kills dogs to make a coat. You know what I mean? Like, how crazy is that for like a plot? That seems very odd and very like, what?
Well, can you think of like, I mean, if you're like, quick, tell me things that make somebody a villain. They rob the bank. They take away their dad's job.
Write it down. Good.
That sounds good.
Sounds good. Yeah.
How about genocide? Whoa.
Can
we pull it back a little bit?
Could we? I don't know. Make that something else.
Not genocide.
Make
killing puppies to make a coat.
Perfect. That's perfect. Yes.
Perfect.
Yes.
Can't wait to tell Jack. I'm crutchy.
Hey, Mr. Schneider, I got the best idea for like a movie, okay? So we got this woman, she wants to build a coat out of Dalmatians. What do you say, Newsies? Perfect. Go with it.
Once Christian Bale gets done dancing around in his Western things.
Santa Fe, where they make Dalmatian coats.
This is a very erratic episode.
Oh, all of them are.
Anyway, so she's back. She's awful. In the meantime, Kevin and Chloe go out on a date.
Yeah, they go on a date.
That's pretty much all you need to know about that part.
Actually, not. I actually kind of preferred their date. I actually liked the scene. They're like, okay, all their pets are at Chloe's house, and they're like, here.
I was thinking the Punch and Judy one.
Oh, the Punch and Judy one. Yeah, that whatever. You don't need to know anything about that except the sweater that the dog has. But whatever. Who gives a crap about that?
Well, she goes to she's like, we're gonna do the puppy coat.
Yeah.
She goes to a furrier, like the
like a convention.
Yes.
A furrier convention.
So she's yiffing Gerard Depardieu when I don't even know if that's a real term. So she goes to find LaPelt, who is the guy she was going to protest before, who used to do a lot of her coat stuff for her, and his show is he's got this fur coat on. He takes it off, and he's wearing like leopard booty shorts with like a leopard head on his crotch.
Weird, like right, yeah, yes, like a cod piece is like a leopard head or something.
Yeah, and so he gets doused in paint.
Honestly, they did not. From what I read, is that the that the wardrobe people did not have to make that. He brought that himself.
That wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah. Yeah, just a drunken Benger with him. He's just like, what I normally wear.
And he's got, his hair makes him look like Guile from Street Fighter.
Actually, I said to you, I go, why does he have Tim Roth 90s hair?
He does have
Do you
Tim
know
Roth
what I mean?
90s hair.
You look like Tim Roth and like Reservoir Dogs kind of like 90s era, like Bad Lieutenant,
he has like a triangular flat top.
Yeah, it was just very, very odd.
Yeah. So he meets with Cruella, and they say, hey, wait, we're going to do this puppy coat, so we got to start getting some Dalmatian puppies. And she changes it. She needs 102 puppies now because she's going to add a hood to it as well, instead of just having a hat that goes with it.
Whatever.
So now now Gerard Depardieu drives this like joke that goes throughout it where we pronounce puppy funny. Poopy. And so
evidently that was a joke.
Goat.
That was a joke, I guess.
Yeah. They say it a lot.
Poopies? Why the poopies?
They say it like 5 times in the trailer.
Well, just in case you didn't quite get the joke because it was awful.
Yeah.
Let's start repeating it because the more we repeat it, the better off that people will think it's funny.
Yeah, that's true.
It doesn't work like that.
Yes.
Just ask a bit of Fry and Laurie with their Dalmatian sketch.
Or with Steve Martin yelling hamburger in the new Pink Panther movies.
Yes, okay.
Hamburger! Anyway.
So they're set to pretty much kidnap about
and they're going to send Alonzo out there to do it.
So can we go to their date? Because
yes.
I really did enjoy
I like this scene.
I actually really liked this scene.
I do too.
So they, except I didn't like the scene before where they're like, now all of our kids, because they have like 500 pets, like each one of them has like 7 pets. We got a video of Lady and the Tramp, and so when we go out on our date, you're gonna watch Lady and the Tramp, and then when the video's done, you're all gonna go to bed, like treating them like they're like kids, like sure, whatever.
Yeah.
So in their scene, they actually go to an Italian restaurant for their date, and when that famous Lady and the Tramp scene comes where they are eating spaghetti, we do a cross-cutting scene between the date and the Lady and the Tramp scene. And I actually thought this was like the most interesting and the most artistic part of the movie. I couldn't believe I was actually like falling in love with this part of the movie because I was like, wow, you actually thought about this scene. If you could only do that throughout the movie.
And it's very sweet too, because it's like he shares his meatball with her because he has some and she doesn't have
the same time that
he's rolling one over.
Rolls it over.
He's eating kind of like a slob and she's dainty with it, and they're looking at each other. Yeah. It's a very sweet scene. It also actually,
which could have been gimmicky, by the way, but I don't. But I think the actors themselves made it not gimmicky.
I agree. I think they did really well with that.
Right.
And honestly, like throughout this whole movie, like regardless of, it being whatever with these animals or like having like digital stuff over them, the animal training and the animal like quote acting, I thought was really good.
Yeah. No, I don't doubt that.
And this scene was one of my favorite parts of it, which is because all the animals are watching, but when Lady and the Tramp kiss over that like piece of spaghetti, Dottie,
the dogs,
Dalmatian, she's right next to Dipstick, and she goes and leans her head against him, kind of like, oh, that's so cute. And so like I thought that was a really sweet thing. I was like, oh.
Mm-hmm. And meanwhile, what's his bucket is stealing he tries to come in and steal the Dalmatians when they're on their date, right?
No. He steals Dalmatians from somewhere else.
Yes. And then because there's 102 of these things.
Okay, during this whole scene, there's a it also is good about like exposing some dialogue too, talking about how like about second chances, why he gives
Why he was
things
like, hey,
second
did you know
chances.
that if she, like her probation,
that I'll get
that
money.
I'll get
from
the
this.
money.
And he was like,
Yes, I
no,
read the
Cruella's
file.
changed. And he's like trying to convince her that give her a second chance.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah.
And so like he tells about this where they'll get the 8 million pounds. So the next day they go back and get the animals. He smooches her, so on and so forth. The next day they said they needed a patsy.
Yeah. They
Basically,
get blackmailed. Yeah.
They tell Chloe that Gerard Depardieu calls Chloe and says, hey, there's something illegal going on over here. And then they call the dog shelter and say, hey, there's some abandoned puppies down over here. You go get them. And so they go out to get the puppies. In the meantime, the police show up with Chloe, where she's like, wait a minute, no, this can't be right. And they're like, where were you last night? All these puppies have been kidnapped. He's like, no, I was out. And they reveal that they were out together with Chloe. Kevin and Chloe were out. Yeah. But they also find other Dalmatians like there in a bag.
Right.
And so they go to, they go to arrest, Chloe's like, hey, arrest Cruella DeVille. She's behind this. And instead they're arresting Kevin.
Yeah.
And they say, well, he's gotten charges for dog napping before. And, he has motive because of the 8 million pounds. And she's like, yeah, you did talk about that last night at dinner. And Kevin's like, come on, that's ridiculous. This can't be right. Alonzo also left like a list of houses that had been robbed or where the puppies had been stolen. So they had those on there. So like all this evidence looks like it's against him.
Sure. So they take him away into the paddy wagon with all of his pets.
With all his pets, yes.
Yes. Because that's how it works.
And then
because they're accomplices too.
Well, yeah. While they're going to take them away, they also was it like as they're loading him up in this thing, nobody notices Alonzo taking all the other Dalmatians back out of the side door.
Yeah, no one even notices. Oh, the evidence went missing? No, we don't care.
No, it's all right.
We're okay.
So they take that and they run.
So now comes the scene where we go to the dinner, right?
Yes.
That Cruella DeVille hosts.
Yeah.
With a bunch of dogs and their owners that look like each other.
Yeah, which is so stupid.
Right. And then we bring, Dipstick and Chloe in.
Yes.
Right. And this is just a scene to kind of like set up the fact that Chloe's going to find out that what Cruella DeVille is actually up to.
Yeah. Well,
because the scene gets chaotic because all the dogs are eating. I don't know why we even have this scene.
Yeah. I think it's to make sure that she is in Cruella's house.
Yeah, I know, but like she could just do that. Like, why did you have to invite?
Well, because also spend a bunch of money. Cruella's attention is turned. Then I guess it could have been done better.
Yeah, it could have been. So then the Taco Bell Chihuahua dog.
Yes,
the dog from.
There's a dog named Fluffy.
Same dog from Legally Blonde. I swear this is the same dog from Legally Blonde.
No,
it's not.
Brewster's a blonde Chihuahua.
Yeah, but they put a wig on this thing. This is a blonde and
not unless they shaved its body too.
Yeah, that's true. Anyway, so I guess I'm just being doggist. All dogs look the same.
So this dog, Fluffy, which they gave her when Alonzo gave her when he thought that she was rehabilitated. Right. Now she hates it, but she's got to keep it around for, just attention. He shows Dipstick
and Chloe, and then Chloe
follows him, shows him all the coats, and then the Dalmatian drawing. Cruella finds them. Oh no! First, the puppy or Gerard Depardieu's character goes in, and the pelt goes to steal Chloe's puppies.
Yes, that scene too.
Which seems like a dumb piece of the plan because if Ian Griffin's already locked away, why would you?
Yeah, that is kind of a dumb.
It makes no sense.
Well, it's also like he just is bumbling and and knocks things over. So I'm gonna assume it's just a drunk night with him.
Yes, he climbs in through he stumbles in through a bathroom
they were
window.
like, okay, gingerly go over there and grab, but he was like, no, I'm just gonna have to.
Pick the lock and get in there. Oh God, no, Gerard Depardieu. Just let him do his thing. Just film it.
Just film it. We have to get this out.
So he gets
We're on a
in
deadline,
there.
Disney.
He ends up kidnapping.
All the dogs.
Yeah.
Obviously, except Dipstick, because Dipstick's with.
Yeah, because Dipstick's there. But the dogs start barking. And basically like a warning, and the dogs are like kind of communicating across whatever, or across the rooftops.
So all the other dogs in the neighborhood start.
Yeah, but it's in baby talk because they're all puppies, and the bird can translate the baby talk.
Yes, and then the bird says to him, "What's his bucket in prison? Oh no, the dogs have been kidnapped.
Yeah.
Oh no,
the
Chloe's dogs.
bad man took the potted puppy.
What are you saying? Okay,
it was weird.
So then the parrot has to then talk sweetly to the security guard guy.
Yeah, he sings him lullabies until he falls asleep.
Puts him to sleep. I'm like, what the?
And steals the keys and they get out.
Steals the keys.
No cops are looking for them, by the way.
Oh right, no cops at any time.
Well, if he got out,
there's no alarm that's going off. Oh, they got out. You know, that dog, guy that stole a bunch of dogs got out.
Yeah,
And they find out that they're going to France. Paris.
Yeah. Because Gerard Depardieu drops his ticket.
Right. Yes, when he was trying to steal the dogs. Magically, they're like, it's over here.
Yeah.
That's your clue.
One of the dogs finds it.
Yeah. We're going to go to Paris.
Yeah, and so
they're at the train station.
Yeah. Well, they had locked up Chloe.
Yeah, but she got out.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're at the train station, and basically they've locked all the dogs into a like a doggy carrier.
Yeah, to a crate.
Yeah. They're going to take the Orient.
Yeah, the Orient Express.
Yes.
To France.
Yeah, and there's a murder that happens on it. It's the same
it
one.
Unfortunately, it was not of our two villains.
No, we don't. Well, there was more than one villain there, but anyway. So and then Chloe and then what's his bucket and the dogs. Oddball.
Oddball falls in the tracks trying to get on the train because they're on the wrong platform. Yes. Waddlesworth, who this whole time has thought he was a dog or insisted on it, flies to go help Oddball and realizes he's actually a bird.
Yes. I can fly.
Yeah. Gets Oddball and drops him on the train, and they head to France. So they're separate from Chloe and Kevin.
Yeah, Chloe and Kevin,
and all the
Chloe
other dogs.
And Kevin are like, let's get a different ticket to Paris because that's how it works.
Yeah, it's it's a lot easier with the travel there.
Sure,
with the trains the way they run.
So now we're in Paris.
Yes,
and then we're in some sweatshop place.
Yeah, it's
that
his.
Has.
It's
That's
his
how
like furrier. His coat making shop.
Yes,
and they load the puppies into the pit under the building, like in the basement, and they go inside where he has immigrants working for cheap to make all the coats and whatnot. So Oddball and Waddlesworth get inside and they start chewing their way down into the basement. The others show up, which I don't know how they know. So they get to Paris.
Oh yeah, the others show up. They get to Paris, and how did they know where the sweatshop was?
The poodles told some of the other dogs that it went by.
Whatever.
And he goes, "Oh, I didn't know you spoke French," to one of his dogs. I don't think he has to speak French. They're dogs.
None of that makes sense.
Yeah.
There's no reason this makes sense.
And so they find wherever this isolated place is.
So they're like, oh my God, all these dogs, all these Dalmatians are there. So they try to release them, and then they get caught by Cruella and everyone. Yeah. They get locked down there. But Oddball and the parrot are ripping a hole.
Yeah, so they start passing up puppies.
Sweatshop place, and no one's even paying attention to all these dogs that are running around.
Well, they were sneaking him out in batches. Like Oddball was bringing him out in like small batches till somebody closed the door.
Yeah.
So they have to think of another way. And by this point, like Alonzo has felt so bad about everything that's going on that he's just like, so when he sees the puppies escaping, he kind of moves over to conceal it from Cruella to make sure they can get away.
So they run away.
Yeah.
And they run away and they end up going into an exhaust fan or something into
a factory.
A factory, right?
Yeah.
We're on the side of a factory and everyone's followed, the dogs there.
Yeah.
And the dogs end up killing Cruella DeVille. No.
Almost.
Pretty much.
Okay, so they throw her, so she's trying to take out Oddball. And finally she, falls, hits a switch, which starts this big, machine making something. All you see is she falls into this,
she gets spun around.
Yeah, she falls into this machine. It's dumping in eggs and milk and everything.
We thought
else
it was a marmalade place.
I thought it was oranges, but I think it might just be egg yolks.
Egg yolks, okay.
Yeah. It just starts dumping all this crap on her, and she gets spun up with giant mixer paddles and stuff. And I was just like, so did that kill her or what? Because at one point, just her legs are in the air and you see them sinking down. I was like, oh, okay. She's dead.
And then she doesn't. Don't they make a cake out of her?
Yeah, it dumps her out. It dumps her out onto this conveyor belt, and there's blades that are coming down through the dough for no reason.
No reason.
Yeah. She's going after Oddball, who's stuck in
squirting frosting and sprinkles on her.
Well, she goes into this. The conveyor belt goes. Oddball manages to avoid the blades. It pushes her into a metal vat thing that then slides into the oven.
Yes,
and should be dead.
She should be dead by then.
Yeah. But no, she comes back out and she's just been baked in the cake.
Sure, because
that's how cakes are made in one solid chunk that.
Then she gets pushed out a door into a side room.
Yeah,
where it's a restaurant.
Yeah,
where people are there and the people that are making cakes are there, that are selling waiters and stuff.
Yeah,
I'm these people did not hear any of this going on.
Yeah, apparently.
I'm gonna assume 102 Dalmatians in your factory not only are a violation, but also are making sounds that you could hear right next to you.
Also, I don't think you need that giant. Do you really need an industrial
to make cakes?
Conveyor belt that a human can fit on to make cakes for your little cake shop? I don't think that's how it's gonna work. But
so she gets arrested again.
Yeah. So everybody else gets freed.
Yeah.
And then
what?
Oh
no! We're at the second chance.
Yes, we are.
Shelter.
Yes.
And a car pulls up.
Yep.
And it's what's his bucket?
Alonzo,
and he gives the check to Kevin, and it's a check for
And he's trying to atone, so he wanted to give it to them personally.
Yeah. He gives £8 million, and then he looks up and there's Oddball. He's like, should that dog be there? And they're like, no. And then Oddball kind of slides down, and Chloe catches the dog and. She's like, oh, you got spots on you. And then she starts rubbing it. And she's like, oh, your spots are showing up.
Yeah, because that's how you do it. That's how Dalmatians get them, through good deeds.
Okay, good deeds.
Yeah.
And so he gets spots, and you've been deuced. Diggity dog, diggity dog.
Diggity dog, diggity dog.
Diggity dog.
That song plays in the opening, which is 10 minutes long. Of just a dog flying around and there's spots everywhere.
So this movie was about an hour and 40 minutes long, which is about an hour and 39 minutes more than it should be.
No, it was about 20 minutes too long.
About 20 minutes more than it should be.
So. Yeah.
Why don't we do our 5 questions?
Okay, let's do it. What do you think the best part of the movie was?
Well, you did mention the animal training, which I assume that Disney is going to have, someone who is perfect with animal training. So I kind of threw that one out the window because I was like, okay, I'm going to be fine with the animal training. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not going to be a moment where I'm just going to be like, oh, the animal training is terrible in this movie. So my favorite part of this movie was the dinner scene, the date scene with the Lady and the Tramp.
Yes.
This was the only part of the movie where I really thought that this is something else than what what we were watching.
Yes.
And I enjoyed it because I was like, oh, you're taking a chance and you're cross-cutting, the movie and their date.
Yes.
So that, to me, is the best part of the movie.
I too think that's the best part of the movie. Like, it really is. It's a sweet, sweet scene.
If you're going to watch this and watch it for this scene alone, I mean, it's great.
And while the animal training is great too, that scene, like the animal training alone doesn't catch my attention. There's lots of good animal training with bad movies. This animal training was good, but I think that scene showcases it a little bit, like some good training. But it also is just generally entertaining.
This scene could be in a romantic comedy.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And so that's why I was like, okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Maybe we could have had that be more of a plot thing than 102 Dalmatians that are going to get killed with Cruella de Vil. I don't know.
Yes.
But for some reason, I liked this.
I did too. Would you reboot, continue, or cancel?
Based on this movie alone, cancel. Like, this movie, it's just not up to where it should be, especially nowadays where live action Disney is just kind of where it is. I mean, you think of the Jungle Book and everything else that's coming out.
Yeah.
No, I'm done. I think I don't need it. It's because think about the plot of just 101 Dalmatians. It's not something that is the the diminishing returns are not there for me.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I would say continue as a gritty post-apocalyptic. No,
Stop.
No,
Actually, think about it.
Gosh, sorry. I would say
Oddball,
cancel.
He is a general of a dog army. Okay, go ahead.
Yes, that sounds right. No, I would say cancel.
Yeah.
It doesn't need to keep going.
No, I don't even think we needed a sequel.
No, there's some okay parts to it, but I don't think you needed it.
No,
I didn't need. I think I feel like this was just a Glenn Close vehicle. Like they were like, hey, we want to do this because at the time Ian Griffin really wasn't doing all that much. Like none of the characters
none of these
really
people are big.
Yeah, she was the big character.
No, she is.
Yeah.
Well, the parrot, the Michael, what's his bucket from?
Eric Idle?
Yeah, Eric Idle. Why did I say Michael? Sorry.
I don't know. And Gerard Depardieu.
Yeah, but
out of the three of those, she's
about 2000. That was kind of waning. You know, his career was.
Out of all of those, she's the name.
Oh yeah, she's the name.
And so I'm like.
Go ahead. What's her name?
Yeah. Do you think this movie stands on its own?
I'm wondering where she got Dipstick from, and I'm wondering what happened to that family.
Yeah.
Yes and no. I think for them, well, no, it doesn't, because how did she get in prison?
Yeah.
What's the story behind that?
Yeah, it doesn't really go into a lot of.
Doesn't really give
we
us,
know, but it doesn't.
I was
really,
waiting for it too. How about that? Like I was waiting for exposition, and I really didn't get a lot.
Not in the right places,
right?
Or not like with any kind of.
So no, I don't think it does.
Wasn't fleshed out at all. I would agree with that. Does this make you want to watch the first one? If you had only seen this, would it make you want to watch the first one?
I'm gonna. Can I put it this way? The whole movie doesn't make me want to watch the second movie. Glenn Close's performance makes me want to watch the first movie.
Yeah, I would say I'm along the same place with that because I want to see. Like she does a pretty good job of being crazy, so I kind of want to see where that came from and like transition and yeah.
But just this movie alone, the whole package, no. So,
right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or where she was like, I would say too, even when she was like, I knew you as a puppy. That alone kind of intrigues me because I'm like, ooh.
Yes.
Now I want to see, because obviously somebody carried forward is not just random new Dalmatians there's some connectivity there. So I'd be kind of interested.
I'm just going to assume that there's probably a little bit more subtext to a character in the first movie than there is in this movie.
I would guess as much,
whatever.
yeah.
Yeah.
Sum up your experience in 2 words.
Spot off. Because this movie was not spot on.
Okay.
There you go. No, this movie didn't. This movie's just kind of like a flat line.
Yeah.
This movie's not great, not bad, not good. It's in the background, and there it is. It's like it's like Walt Disney was like, "Here you go, I made this.
Yeah.
You know, devour it however you want to, slice it up, whatever you want to do." But it's really not that great. It doesn't belong with stuff that Disney should be proud of, but it doesn't hurt Disney's, face. It doesn't hurt its property.
My 2 words, I say chew toy. Because this whole thing just seems like it's a vehicle for Glenn Close to chew up scenery.
Oh, it is.
And just be very over the top, but without a lot of, and because of that, because it's just, that's what it's supposed to be, it means that it's missing a lot of like the heart of what the movie should be.
Sure.
It was just basically there as something for her to do.
Yeah, it kind of really is. I feel like it's like Glenn Close might have had to do a favor for someone in order to do an independent movie or something like that.
Well, she did.
I don't know.
Hook. Like she did.
But you're right. This isn't the because there was a moment where like Glenn Close kind of reemerged, right? And then it kind of was like Damages TV show, and then it was kind of like, oh yeah, we love Glenn Close. Let's start giving her stuff again. Do you know what I mean? So there was kind of like a couple chapters of Glenn Close's career, right? And this is kind of in the middle of it, which is not a really great chapter. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Agreed.
So that concludes 102 Dalmatians, but we will continue our animal sequels, which is what this cycle of movies is that we're doing. Yes. We're going to be doing Free Willy 2 next time.
So, Free Willy 2?
So look forward to that one. But where can people find us, Jeremy?
People can find us at thedeucepodcast.podbean.com, on Google Play, Stitcher, iTunes, a lot of pretty much anywhere you can find those podcasts. You can also find us on our Facebook group. Please make sure that you join. You can find us on Twitter at Deuce Podcast, or you can also find us on the NoPhonyNetwork.com, as well as our other network mates.
Yeah, there you go. And remember, folks, which is drunk for the sequel is king. French drunk, that is. Or the sequel is king. I just want to say sequels because you're looking at me weird, so I just want to keep saying sequel is king. Dig it, dig it, dog, dig it, dig it, dog. Dig it, dig it, dog, dig it, dig it, dog. Dig it, dig it, dog, dig it, dig it, dog.